Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Story Time. Alright, back with a brand new episode of Story Time. Feels good to be back in the hot seat, and you guys may notice different camera. You guys probably don't know why. It's because I've sent my GoPro back out to Richmond to get it fixed. But in the meantime, I'm using my old vlog camera to help me out. So for today's episode of Storytime, I'm gonna be reading a Dan and Phil fanfiction, aka Phanfiction. 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 PHAN fiction. That fanfiction. So, with that being said, thanks to a special friend of mine for helping me out. I got a Storytime episode. So, and credits to the writer of this. This should be really interesting. All right, so you know what? Let's just get this thing started. Okay, so here it is, the Dan and Phil story in question. Written by, hold on, is this the author? Angst-Filled Impala. Wow, that's deep. Okay, the title is We Should Get Married. Where do you think we'll be in 5 years? Dan pondered aloud and looked at Phil lying next to him. His phone read that it was after 3, and this was one of those nights where neither of them could sleep. So instead they stayed awake until one of them fell asleep. It's a lot like the old days when they'd Skype all night, except they could be complete assholes and shake the other awake when they started drifting. Phil's silent and his eyebrows are furrowed, his mouth drawn in a thin line, and Phil propped himself up on his elbow. He thought about this a lot, meaning he's had way too many. Hold on. Phil's silent and his eyebrows are furrowed, his mouth drawn in a thin line, and Dan propped himself up on his elbow. He thought about this a lot, meaning he's had way too many existential crises thinking about his future. Well? Dan asked as he raised an eyebrow. He wasn't going to wait all night for the answer. Well, he had to wait 4 hours or so until the sun came up, but he was not up for that. I'm thinking. Phil glanced to Dan, and then his eyes moved to the ceiling. This could take a while. Dan chuckled. I got that. When Phil took this long to reply, Dan knew it was because he was coming up with a legit answer. But now he would expect Phil to tell him how he'll be living it up with the aliens in 5 years. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Maybe they get both unlucky and he might drag Dan up there with those aliens. Ooh. The idea of a future without Phil was stranger than the two of them getting abducted by aliens, at least in Dan's mind. Phil shared the same sentiment he had told him before, which was reassuring that his thoughts on where they could be similar. What year will it be in 5 years? Have you really forgotten what year we're in? Phil's serious expression told Dan he probably shouldn't be smiling, laughing, because whatever the year was clearly mattered to the answer. It'll be 2021. Phil nodded and his eyes looked away for a moment. Okay, I've got my answer now. It only took forever, and Dan wouldn't voice it though because he's getting his answer, and his attitude will only cause a delay. A delay meaning Phil's offended expression and comment, and Dan trying to get him back on track to the topic with some half-genuine apology. In 5 years, we'll still be living together. Phil smiled at Dan, the soft kind of smile that made Dan's heart melt. Or maybe that and the butterflies in his stomach came from Phil's words. I'm glad you think so. He gave Phil a smile in return, a real genuine one he reserved for Phil and Phil alone. Go on. We'll get that dog we've always wanted, and I don't think we'll live here anymore. Phil's eyes wandered his bedroom as Dan's eyes followed. Of course we'd have a dog. A fond smile found its way to Dan's lips. Why not? They had moved from Manchester once, like 4 years ago, and that was it. He had a hard time thinking of living anywhere else. This place was homey with all their decor and personal possessions all over the place. Their closets filled with their clothes. The walls marked from dragging equipment around the flat and all the videos they made in this place alone. Dan would have the worst time leaving it, not to mention all the packing they'd have to do. When they first moved, this place had nothing. Now they needed like 50 boxes for all the ridiculous things Phil purchased alone. I don't know. I like the place, but I don't think I'd like to live here when I'm 60. We've got all the stairs to go up. Dan nodded. The worst part of coming home from anything was a dozen stairs to get up. He could live without that part. That's true. We could use the space. I'm pretty sure by the time we're 60, you will have bought so many useless things that we'll have to watch where we walk to avoid stepping on something. I had to buy that stress mushroom, Dan. Dan put his hands in his face and slowly shook his head. No, you didn't, Phil. I'm glad that thing broke. He didn't enjoy the mess that they made on himself, but he was glad that that thing was in the trash where it belonged. I'm thinking about buying another one. Dan peeked through his fingers and groaned. You can't be serious. He never wanted to see another stress mushroom in his life if he could avoid it. Phil laughed and shook his head. I'm not. Dan couldn't help but laugh a little as well. His hand slid off the face, and he laid his head down on the pillow. He reached forward for Phil's soft hand and intertwined their fingers. He took a deep breath. I hope we're still together in 5 years. We will be. Phil's voice was confident, and it wasn't like anything he'd said would suggest he thought otherwise. Dan really wanted them to still be together in 5 years. Maybe they don't have to be in a relationship like they are now, but they can't stop having a friendship. Wasn't there something more that said that... hold on, what's this? Hold on. Wasn't there something that said that if you're friends with someone for more than 5 years, that will be a lifelong friendship? Dan swore he read that somewhere, indeed, and they had already been friends for almost 7 years. How can you be sure? Dan tilted his head and gazed at Phil. In 5 years, they could break up and date other people. Phil gently squeezed his hand. Because I think we should be married. Whoa! What? Whoa. All of that, that's gonna lead into a marriage. Like, I'm confused, guys. Because I think we should get married. Of all the things that could come out of Phil's mouth, this was the thing Dan least expected. He's not sure how to react. No, his eyes wide and mouth open, and he can't bring himself to speak. Wide eyes stared back at Dan, and moments later, his face turned into one of sadness, and Dan's heart ached. His reaction must have made it seem like he didn't agree with that, which was false. Dan's eyes flickered over Phil's face, and he got the urge to kiss that frown away. It'd be easier than watching it as he sat there in awestruck. What the... Oh, no. Okay, I'm moving on. Oh, well, yeah. Dan said as he used his free hand to scratch at the back of his head, shrugging his shoulders. He just wanted to end the silence that slipped in his room. I mean, yeah, if that's what you want to do. Dan licked his lips as his heart pounded in his chest, and Phil's frown turned into confusion, which turned into a grin. Dan nodded as he ghosted his thumb along Dan's hand. I do want to do that. Someday. Dan's heart fluttered. Me too. This isn't how I wanted to ask you, though. Phil glanced at his closet behind Dan like there was something there for him. I've been thinking about asking you for a while. Really? Dan gasped. They talk about marriage like three times since they've known each other. Well, in a serious light anyways. But before they started dating each other, they talked about how they wanted to get married one day. At the time, Dan considered the possibility of Phil in his head, but it was never a concrete thought. Yeah. Brought a ring. Whoa. What? Wait, what? No way. No, wait, whoa. Whoa, hold on. Okay. Wait, what? No way. Oh my gosh, can I see it? Dan's face lit up and his eyes went wide. He was going to die if he didn't see it because Phil probably put a lot of thought into it when he bought it. Phil wanted to know when Phil had that time, but then it had been likely in some package that came in for him. If he wanted to show Dan what it was in the package, he did it. No, I didn't ask you properly. Phil beamed and shook his head. You don't have to ask me properly. You already know my answer. He could die knowing Phil bought him a ring and wouldn't show him. Phil scooted closer to Dan on the bed until their foreheads were pressed against each other. Oh my gosh, no. Oh wait, oh okay, good. Sorry. Phil scooted closer to Dan on the bed until their foreheads were pressed against each other, and he could smell Phil's comforting scent of faded cologne and clean pajamas. I want to ask you properly, though. You can't torture me like this. Dan pouted because this was not fair. It was simply not possible to live in this flat knowing this information, and Phil couldn't just tell him this and not go through with it. Also, stop with that bullshit about asking me properly. You don't have to do that. Phil shook his head. A fond smile formed on his lips after he sighed. You may not care, but I do. We'll have to retell our engagement to our families. I think that you just said it in a casual conversation. I said yes is a completely acceptable story. It didn't have to be a big deal, although it absolutely was. Dan was just impatient. You're not very convincing, you know? Dan groaned and rolled onto his back. Seriously? I'm sorry. Phil scooted closer, nuzzling his head into Dan's shoulder as he put an arm around his torso. It doesn't make things any better like Phil expected. No, don't touch me. Dan removed Phil's arm and moved over to the edge of the bed. He narrowed his eyes at Phil. I'm mad at you. Phil was probably just going to grab Dan to pull him away from the edge, but Dan scooted further away and fell on the floor with a soft thud. Oh, Dan, are you alright? Phil leaned over the bed to look at a Dan who groaned in pain and glared up at him. You know what? I'm fine. I've got my own bed in my own room. Dan got up from the floor on his own, ignoring Phil's outstretched hand to help him. His hand gestured towards his bedroom, and his expression was one of feigned annoyance. I see how it is, Phil. No, stay. Phil grabbed one of Dan's arms and pulled him back from heading toward the other room. Dan struggled against his grip, and he wanted to win this. Phil would fall on the floor or let go. His grip couldn't last forever, except now that there's two hands on arm pulled him, and with some minor internal objections, he fell across Phil's legs. Dan, I love you, I promise, but you have to wait. Phil's hands remained wrapped around Dan's arm because Dan might try to leave again if he let go. Dan's voice came muffled from falling face first in Phil's duvet. How long? After I make you dinner tomorrow. Phil's grip loosened from Dan's arm and yawned. The excitement of earlier's conversation faded away as the reality of their late night came up. That's such a long time. Dan rolled over, laying on Phil's legs. He looked over at Phil, whose blue eyes were dull and tired. Dan rubbed his own eyes and let a loud yawn. I don't know if I can wait that long. You can do it! Phil reached for his phone and looked at something. I'm ready to sleep. Me too. Dan got off of Phil and moved up to lay him next to him, turning off the lamp and allowing him to get bathed in the darkness. Both of them got under the covers and laid down so that they were facing each other. I hate you for making me wait. I love you too. He didn't have to see it to know that Phil was smiling, and Dan smiled into the darkness as well. Good night. Night. Well, that was one story. I honestly didn't expect him to get mad, you know. Well, there's that, okay? I read you guys legit fan fiction from AO3 or Archive of Our Own. But you know what, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, like it, comment down below on what other fanfiction stories you guys want me to read, or any fanfiction stories you want me to read for that matter. Subscribe to my channel down there. Yes, it's down below somewhere. Just hit it. Yeah, if you guys want more of that. And you know what, I hope you guys liked it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week when I react to a Dan and Phil video. I know you guys want me to react to them. Yeah.